What is up, everybody? Welcome back to State of the BFC. We're here with episode 6. This is a bit of a big party we got tonight. More guests than normal. More interviews and less video segments for tonight. Basically, the championship happened to the Drop Zone tournament, and we want to talk about that. The first thing we're going to do, we have Roach and xShot here, so I'm going to talk to them for a little while. And then Wicked is going to talk to Chrisesca, so we're going to get some perspective on both sides of the finals. And then Bomber and I are going to talk about the PC and cargo brackets. We'll have the Q&A, and we'll do the final cap. So let's just get right into the interview. Welcome to you guys, Roach and xShot. So what is each of your first reactions to winning the Drop Zone tournament? It was a super long match. It looked like a long fight, a slobber knocker, if you will. How did you feel after you won?
Honestly, I felt really relieved that it was finally over. Uh, it was like really nerve-wracking finals, and once it was done, it was just like a huge weight off my shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing. First reaction was, especially after the triple overtime on the third map of the first best of three. I mean, it was like, all right, we won the first one. It's, back to the beginning. It's like we never played that. We're all on an even playing field. And like you said, once we won, it was just like relief to not have to worry about it and just be
Right.
able to just play normal now instead of worrying about scheduling the matches or whatever the case may be.
Right. So a sense of relief that your like organized matches are done for now. You walk away with the crown. So I could definitely see a feeling of relief coming from that. So I know I talked to you guys before, and you guys told me like you don't do too much preparation usually, but this was the championship. So did you guys do any sort of different preparation? Anything in particular to prepare for this match? And did your strategy change from set one to set two? Would be the second part of that question.
Well, I mean, we did our normal preparation, which is just we like to get into some blast games and just warm up our shot.
Yep.
Like we really feel the most important thing is having your aim on point, and then just play drop zone. Like we don't really prepare any maps or anything like that.
Mhm.
But we did go and check out Swamp Crash Site because we never played that on
Because
Drop
nobody
Zone.
plays it, yeah.
No, I've never played it once on Drop Zone.
Yeah.
So we literally just went and had, you know, both of us on each team, and we just let each pod drop just to see where they spawned.
Mhm.
And we were in there for about 2 minutes, and we were back into Blast, and that was it.
Yeah, same thing. Like you said, when we were picking maps and Wicked's like, we'll take Swamp Crash Site. I was like, what?
You're like,
I'm
what map
like,
is that?
I'm like, nobody's ever picked this in the whole tournament, and I've never played it on Drop Zone. So then, like, once we got done picking the maps, like, and Wicked left the party, we're like, all right, we got to go start up a Swamp Crash Site because we have no idea where the pods spawn. And thank God we did because as we were playing that map, we realized we went down 0-2 in pods, and we kind of knew like we didn't get like worried or anything because we knew that the next like 3 or 4 pods all spawned on one side of the map, and if we got that third pod, we could kind of control the map and just dictate the outcome of it. And we ended up doing it. We won the next 5 pods in a row that
Yeah.
because they all spawn right next to each other. So I mean, it's just unfortunate that that's how the map played out.
Yeah, definitely a weird map. Doesn't get picked very often. Very, very few times.
Just to add to that,
Yeah.
for some reason, it's the only map Game Battles doesn't have in the map rotation for Drop Zone, so it does not come up in Game Battles either.
Oh, that's
So we had
weird.
never played it in the tournament, nor on like we played like almost 30 GB matches, and it's not in the map rotation.
Do you
So
feel like they just forgot or like that's on purpose or
I really think they just forgot, like,
interesting?
or maybe the guy that made the ladder specifically hates that map. It's one of the two, but I'm not really sure.
That or maybe just because of how the pods land. I mean, because like you said, like we went down 0-2 and then we got the next 5 in a row because they all spawned like literally they all spawn in a line on that one
Ye-
side of the ship pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and we
I
noticed
mean,
that
maybe they thought it was too lopsided.
when we went to go
Even
check it out, we noticed that we're like, oh, they all spawn here, so I guess this side of the map is more important.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, do they have Twilight on Hoth on game battles or no?
You cannot play that map on Drop Zone in private matches. It's not an option.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't even know that. Okay. moving on then. So I noticed. So obviously, Badlands kept on tying over and over again. I think you guys tied it. It had to be 3 overtimes, right, to determine the winner of that map in the first set. Were you guys changing? So when you saw that the map kept tying, did you guys decide to change any of your loadouts or strategies during that like tying period over and over?
I'm not really sure if anyone on our team changed loadouts. And as far as strategy, we didn't really change anything either. I knew that like the first map I did really well. I had like 40 plus kills, and then the second map I saw that Arsenic and Roach didn't play that well, so I felt really comfortable going into the third round because I knew they were going to play better, and I knew that we were going to win. So once we got to the third one, I just figured we had to do, we just do what we were doing and we would be fine pretty much.
Right. So you just stuck to your guns, pretty much.
Yeah, same thing. Like you said, me and Arsenic didn't play well the second time, and we still tied it. And that's always said, like, if we play better, me and Arsenic play better, I mean, we should be able to win. And we thank God we did, because I would have felt really terrible for playing so bad on that second map. I mean, that's the only map that I did bad on, but thankfully, Fantastic and xShot played well enough, and we tied it.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely a long fight. You guys just kept to what you were doing and it worked out, so that's good. And then also speaking of arsenic, so Wookie's not around for this week, so you used arsenic in that game. I haven't asked you about him before. I was wondering if he's been in SC for a while and you've known him for a long time on other games, or is he more just someone you met on this game?
So we added Arsenic in The Last of Us, which is the game that me, Fantastic, Arsenic, and a few other players played before this competitively. And we added him a long time ago. This was in 2014. So
Right.
uh, we were really confident having him play for us because I just know he's a really uh, good player, has superb aim, but he's also really teamwork oriented, and he'll do whatever's asked of him. He doesn't really care about his score or anything. He's just playing to win. So I was really comfortable with him.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah. He just came
same.
in and performed pretty much.
Same. He did what we wanted him to do, and he did it very well.
Yep.
Like we've played many like important matches and other games with him, so like I knew like it wasn't going to be too big for him or he wouldn't be nervous. He's a confident guy and he's a good player, so I wasn't really worried about it.
Okay, cool. Interesting to know. I didn't know where he was from, so that's cool. Another longtime SC member. Um, so then let's talk about the fourth member then of that match, Fantastic Man. So his thermal imploder, there was one cave pod on Gozan Badlands where Fantastic Man basically came in behind R, threw a thermal imploder and got a triple kill. And the cave pod, as we all know, is very hard to break the setup on, and he basically broke the setup with that one imploder. How big was that moment?
So it was huge for us because, of course, killing 3 people uh, in that pod is really important because it's really hard to break in. Um, one note about that was I was able to spawn on him. I don't know how because he was so close to everybody, but I was
Yeah.
able to spawn on him, and I think that kind of made it like for me personally, it wasn't that hype because like I was there as well, so like I knew he was alive, but once it like went off and he killed 3 people, it was like really exciting. We just went and set up and hold down the 2 paths in, so it was really really a big play for us.
Yep. I could definitely see if you had just parter spawned on him that you were probably just mashing triangle trying to spawn back in, and then you just see that he cleared everybody out. So that's pretty cool. So what about other? So I was watching from Cappy's stream personally. Were there any other clutch moments that you might have seen that I might not have seen on other people's perspectives? Like, is there any super crazy moments you guys remember from the match overall?
There was plenty of like really clutch plays. I know Arsenic and Roach reset so many pods that me
Yeah.
and Fantastic were far away from, and I know me and Fantastic did a really really good job of like 2v4ing some pods until those guys were able to come support us. Like we would take it over, and then we get rushed by 4 players, and we would either wipe them or take out 3, and then our last member or the other 2 members would be able to come clean them up. So that was really big, and I remember the other moment that I remember was right at the end. Like there was about like 10 seconds on that last pod, and we were just like going crazy because we knew we had won at that point.
Yeah, I don't remember like any actual like specific like moment, but
Yeah.
there was just so many just resets that either I would get or Arsenic or Fantastic would get just to reset the pod and let us kind of
Yeah, so many
get
pod
get grouped
resets.
together and then just go in and make a push because we would reset it and then they would get it back right away.
Yeah, on both sides. Like both sides were getting crazy pod
But I
resets.
mean, that's why I think Drop Zone is like the best because just the resetting and getting them, it's makes it fun. But
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
super
other
awesome.
than the clutch moments, there was really nothing that really stood out. Just a lot of good plays that were made.
Okay. And then next question, I just had one quick sort of question for xShot. So when I asked Roach on if he had played the original Battlefront games on season or episode 1 of this season, he said he didn't, but you might have. So I was just wondering if you had played the originals, xShot.
I did not. When it came out, SOCOM, the game that we were playing at the time, was still really big, and I know a lot of people went and played it that were playing SOCOM,
Yeah.
but it died out pretty quickly on GB at the time. So it didn't have enough time to pique my interest, and everybody came back to SOCOM, so I just kind of stuck with SOCOM. I didn't go try it out.
Yeah, there was like a lot of crossover, I feel, between Battlefront and SOCOM players because they were out at the same time, like you were saying, and also the player bases were very dedicated. I remember when I was looking to like help keep PS2 online for Battlefront 2, there was a lot of SOCOM players who were doing the same thing and still managing to play online as well. So definitely dedicated player bases for sure in both of
Definitely.
those. Um, so next question, cargo tournament. You guys haven't signed up. I know when I talked to you guys in your party like the other night, you told me so. Extra, you're going to be kind of busy this month, so that might be a reason why you guys didn't want to play in this tournament. Some of your members won't be around. Is there anyone you're rooting for in particular for the cargo tournament?
Uh,
I know Wookie. I think is on another team for this one.
I'm not really rooting for anyone, to be honest, but I'm sure I'll watch the matches, and I just hope they're good games. Something like how we had in the Drop Zone tournament. But that's pretty much it. I'm not really
Yeah,
rooting, especially not Wookie's team. I want him to meet us.
nice.
Yeah. Like you said, we didn't sign up. Xshot's busy. I got work early all month, and
Yeah.
then Wookie's gone for another like 6 days or something.
Hmm.
But teams in particular, not really.
Okay.
I didn't even know Wookie was on a team. But if he is,
Yeah, I mean
I
it was
wish him
kind of
good
a
luck.
last
I
minute
don't want him to win though,
thing.
because then he'll like hold it against me, and I don't need
Okay, all right,
that.
that's cool.
No, if he is on a team, I wish his team, best of luck. It'd be
They
nice to
the
see him win.
team
Be pretty
that he
cool.
is on played today. He's not around, obviously, but the team that he's on played today and won their first match. That's all I know so far, though.
Good.
Okay, so lastly, is there any shout outs you guys would like to give? And basically, I just have a question for like, what's next for SC? What do you guys think you're going to be doing in the future?
Shout outs. I mean, thank you guys for hosting the tournament. And I know I've told some of you guys this. I know it was like bumpy, but I'm glad it ended the way it ended, and I really do appreciate you guys, putting in the work to host the tournament. And the only other shout outs I'd like to give is to my teammates because they really, really played well and they executed well and they made me look really good. So thanks to them for that. And what's next for SC is definitely Uncharted 4
Nice.
and maybe some more Star Wars.
All right, Roach.
Yeah, same thing. Just want to thank you guys for hosting the tournament. Like I said, that finals match was the most fun I've had competitively playing a video game in quite some time. Hope you guys do more Drop Zone tournaments
Agreed.
in the future,
That's not out of the question.
because
That's not out of the
those
question for sure.
I think that's one of the on Star Wars, and that mode is one of the most competitive modes that I've played. And if you're going up against a good team, like the matches are just intense. And then just like Xshot said, thank teammates, fantastic. Wookie, Arsenic for coming in, doing his part. Xshot, of course. Hassan, even though he didn't play, but he was there in our chats
You play versus Josh.
rooting us on. Gator as well, same thing. I know he played in one of
Gator
them.
played one. Yeah, I think.
Gator played one of them, so thank you to him as well. And like Xshot said, just Uncharted, and hopefully another Drop Zone tournament pops up.
Yeah, that's definitely not out of the question. We're gonna do the cargo tournament and see where we go from there. But now I'm going to throw it over to the other side of the finals, and Wicked is going to have some nice questions for Chrisesca. Wicked?
Yeah, I finally get to talk to Chris here, so I can finally talk about like R and not feel depressed on interview questions. So I'm here with Chris.
Hey,
All right. So, Chris, you've been in R. You were one of the founders of R, actually. And I guess just my first question will be, what's it like playing with some of the same people from Battlefront 2 as it is in the new game? How's the experiences differ?
it's horrible. I'm kidding. No. I think it's pretty cool that like we're able to bring in like our old Battlefront team into the new Battlefront and play competitively. Um, but yeah, like it's fun to play once again like in battles. I really miss like playing competitively.
hmm Yeah, you just mentioned there that you miss playing competitively, but you were gone for about 5 years in between Battlefront 2 and this new game. Did you play anything competitively since then?
No.
Just played casually with people for 5 years?
Well, yeah, I sort of started. I got a PS3 and I started playing like Black Ops 2 and like Call of Duty and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
I never played competitively.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been like almost 5 years since you had played competitively. What's it like coming back into a competitive scene?
Well, I've always considered myself to be competitive, so I enjoy like coming back and being a part of the BFC.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone here is pretty competitive as well, and I mean, lots of good competition, especially in Drop Zone and coming up in Cargo. I see a lot of good teams just from
Yeah,
commentating a
yeah.
couple matches. So it's really going to be nice to have some good competition, especially competitive people like myself and you.
Hmm.
It'll be nice to see what we come up facing in this
Yeah.
tournament. So I guess moving towards the Drop Zone tournament for ourselves, how were you personally feeling during our run, and were you overall pleased with how we performed and the work we put into the tournament?
Well, I mean, coming back from like not playing competitively, like you said, for about 5 years, being able to make it to the finals was a great experience. I was just happy that our team was able to be involved in the finals and that we all got along so easily. I
Yeah,
felt like we had a really great run.
yeah. I mean, would have been nice to win, thanks SC. But like, I mean, it was nice getting to the finals, and just that match was so intense that I enjoyed it, even though we lost. I mean, I enjoyed playing
Yeah,
again.
so did I.
Um, So again, coming back towards the Drop Zone tournament, did you have a favorite moment you'd like to share? Uh,
Yeah, when I think it was when we played against OG, uh, Pachuki's team.
uh-huh.
Um, it was
Shout out to
about the score.
Pachuki.
Yeah, Pachuki. The score was like 4-4, and we had really bad spawns, and there was the pod was about like 2 seconds away from being capped, and Fever came in with the clutch. Like he capped the pod for us, and if it wasn't for him, we would have lost the game and go into a third round.
Yeah, I actually believe that Cappy said the exact same thing when he was on the show in like week 1 or 2. So that just seems to be our entire team's favorite moment from the Drop Zone tournament.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess moving back towards our team, you happen to be on the same team as your dad. What's that
Mhm.
experience like in the house or in the game?
Well, it's pretty fun. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd be playing Battlefront at all because he's the one who got me into it. I was only like, I don't know, like 6 or something when Battlefront 2 came out. And I remember me and him always playing Battlefront together by ourselves until like one day we discovered we could play online. That took like a couple years to figure out. But other than that, I think it's like really cool that we're able to share that experience and play together competitively.
Yeah, it's something that's family bonding that not too many people have through the
Yeah.
game. So moving away from our team into RA, how do you feel about having those guys around as scrimmage partners or as just people to play with in general?
Well, I mean, it's cool to have a second team that we can always practice against, and it helps us like it helps us out a lot, and we're able to like go over call outs and find out like our strengths and weaknesses, and like find spots that we can share so we could get better.
Yeah, it's really nice having RA, just be able to bounce ideas off each other and work on practicing our skill.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's nice to have those guys around. So I guess moving into cargo, that's the next tournament upcoming. We have a match coming up ourselves soon, I believe, and RA is playing soon as well. But my question would be, how do you feel that the drop zone tournament differs from the cargo tournament with a slightly new roster? Do you think that's going to influence us much, or do you think we're going to be about the same?
Well, other than the fact that we're losing fever, we're gonna have to adapt to that. I feel like cargo is more like objective based. Everyone's gonna have to play the objective, not like in drop zone where you would have like a slayer just taking out people that are coming to the pod.
Mhm. Yeah, so I mean, there's that separate element that I didn't even mention of the objective play that we're really just going to have to get used to. That most teams are going to have to get used to actually. But of course, losing Fever as well is that's a cut to our slaying department. He was really good at that. So I mean, we'll just have to
Yeah.
adapt to what we have, but I think we'll still be pretty solid ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I guess how do you think the cargo tournament will go for R? You know, what do you think differs from drop zone? If we'll be a good team in cargo, or yet to see.
Um. Well, we're gonna have to, like change our play style since we're losing fever. We're gonna have to, like, adapt to not having him,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess like hopefully we'll be able to move back into the finals and play once again.
Yeah, it'll be nice to be in the finals and see what we can, or it would be nice to go to the finals and see what we can do in this tournament. I know we have a
Yeah,
lot of work
hopefully,
still, but
hopefully we
yeah.
learn from our mistakes. We'll be able to learn from that.
Yeah. So I guess moving away from the competitiveness in general, just a couple questions on how you think the game can be improved on. What you think Dice could do to make the game more fun or more competitive, or your thoughts on it.
Um, I don't really see anything wrong with the game. Maybe just like the spawns. I know some, in some drop zone tournaments, I would spawn in and then the enemy team would spawn in right behind me and I'd just get killed. Stuff like that. Just little stuff, like the little things.
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs still. I think the jetpacking, you can't personal then jetpack. I heard that's a bug.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
like that either. You can't throw
I,
grenades or anything.
I'm not sure if partner spawning's 100% set in stone or if I'm just bad at it. Because it seems like sometimes you can get a partner spawn and then other times you can't from the same distance. So I
Hmm.
guess just stuff in general like that would help to improve the
Yeah.
game. All right, so um, I do have one question. I got from a couple anonymous sources that you're a big fan of pop music, specifically boy bands. So if you had to pick between your two idols of Justin Bieber or One Direction, which one would you pick?
Well, I don't know where you got that information from, but if I had to choose, probably Justin Bieber. I don't know, because I don't listen to their music.
Do you love yourself?
Yes, I do.
There you go. All right, so I have a write-in question here from a member of the audience,
Okay, what is it?
and it's basically, it's this person is wondering, and they're saying that you're quite the stud on Battlefront, and they're sure chicks really dig your gun skill in game. So this person was wondering if you have a girlfriend or if you're not quite accepting applicants.
No, I don't have a girlfriend.
Mm.
Wait, what do you mean by applicants?
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot
Like,
of girls that like want to be your girlfriend. So,
oh yeah, yeah, there
like,
is.
you just denying people, or you just like telling them, come back later.
Yeah, putting them on like reservation.
Okay. Well, I guess the last question I have for you is if there. I'm sorry. I have a last minute write in here from a Eska213. And he is wondering if he heard you got the DLC for free off of your dad, and he was wondering if you plan on paying him back for at least half of the DLC price.
Well, my let me see. Today is the 3rd. My birthday is on the 5th. I'll just consider it an early birthday present from him.
Oh, just an early birthday present?
Yeah.
Nothing more?
No.
Mm. I'll have to get back to him on that. I'm sure he'll be a little disappointed. So I guess the last question I have for you is if there are any shout outs you'd like to give to people or anyone you'd like to thank.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mike and the people who set up the tournament, and our teammates Wicked, Fever, and Cappy, the Rio Pachukis, for the great drop zone tournament we had. It was a good run.
Yeah, thank you to the Pachukis. That's about
Yeah,
it
the OG
for
Pachukis.
that's about it for our questions, Chris. Thank you for the interview, and I'll move it over to I think Bomber
All right.
or Mike.
Bomber, do you want to talk a little bit about the PC bracket at this time? If Bomber is here, okay,
Bomber, please.
Bomber's headset might have died, but I can handle this. So currently, the PC bracket is looking
I'm
pretty
back.
good. Oh, you're back. Okay,
All right,
Yeah, my
you're
bad.
back.
great show.
Do you want to talk about the PC bracket, Bomber?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, so far we have one semifinalist, being BOS, Battlefront Old School. They were able to defeat Dark Empire in a pretty close game,
Right.
which Dark Empire should have actually won, but they choked super hard and let
And
BOS uncap a pod with 1 second left.
and you were telling me that you thought BOS was without a doubt, like you thought that wasn't even going to be close, and it
Yeah,
was really close.
exactly. I thought BOS would have 2-0'd him, 5-0'd pods, like, easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. DE stepped it up.
And then the other side of the winners bracket, we have Native versus Meh. Meh is Spathy's team, right?
Yes.
So you all know Spathy was on State of the BFC. He also was the final cap clip from last week with his excellent Pulse Cannon Jetpack Bounty Hunter reset play. So who do you think is going to win that match?
I want to say native, but it's
Okay.
gonna be meh, more than likely.
Okay, so it's like going to be pretty close then, you're thinking?
Yeah. Well, nah, I don't know. I think meh is probably without a doubt the best PC clan, and I don't think anyone's on their level. But I'm gonna.
But you're rooting
I'm
for
gonna root.
Native?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
root for the underdogs with native.
I see. That's cool. Then we're waiting on some losers bracket matches. We also have Dank's team versus Dark Empire. So Dark Empire moved down to losers bracket versus Dank's team. Who do you think is going to win that one?
Uh, I don't know, cause I thought before the BOS match, I thought Dark Empire was just gonna basically lose out in next two of their matches, and DE looks really good right now, so it could go either way.
Yeah. And then so some other stuff. So PC, their triangles are allowed for this. It's the same, basically the same rules as our PS4 tournament, the Drop Zone tournament. Triangles are allowed by default. They seem to enjoy them more. And so why is it, do you think, you had told me the other day you think the reason for this is Personal Shield isn't as strong on PC, and you can go ahead and explain that now.
Correct. Because the reason Personal Shield I think is not that good is because Cycler is more relevant. It's a lot harder to aim the Cycler rifle on PS4 than it is PC, so it gives them like a harder counter towards Personal Shield.
Right, and I could see that being the most offending triangle for most teams, then perhaps
Yeah,
people would
it's
be
watching
able
it.
to
Watching a
deal with it.
PC scrims, they basically run 2 cyclers no matter what.
Right. And then the other thing about the PC meta is you saw some people trying out Dioxys Grenade. I don't know if it was in a tournament match or in a scrimmage, but why don't you talk about that for a little bit too?
Uh, I had high hopes when I first saw him use the Dioxys grenade, but it didn't work out. They even tried stacking the Dioxys grenades, but it still wasn't enough to kill people. The only
Right.
time the Dioxys grenade got kills was when like they were like at 10 HP.
So the plan was to throw like 3 or 4 Dioxys grenades on a pod, and then hopefully the damage over time tick
Yeah,
stacked. So
I
it
did
like tick.
notice that the Dioxys grenade does kill people through personal shield though.
Right. Yeah, I had noticed that too. Definitely interesting. You would think gas wouldn't be able to come through the shield or whatever. I don't know.
Or a
Everything.
helmet.
Right, yeah, and like all this stuff now, like grenades don't go through any, like they changed it up, like the rules on how shields work, so I don't know anymore. But pretty interesting. Doxus grenade, probably pretty bad. Um,
Yeah, I don't
so
go
it
on.
wasn't very effective. Do you think so? I don't think anyone else is really going to use it. Was there any other PC meta stuff that you were noticing, or
I mean, other than the Ares of Pulse Cannon, because Pulse Cannon's a lot better on that.
easy to aim? Yeah, easier to aim for sure.
People were running Scattergun as well a lot.
Hmm. Another good counter to personal shield.
It's
Um,
actually a big debate which one's better, Cycler or Scatter. Scatter's obviously the easier one to use, but the cooldown of Cycler is a lot better.
Interesting. Okay. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about the PC? When is Native and Mech gonna play? I guess that's the most important
This
thing.
coming weekend, I think on the 9th, is what
Okay.
they planned out. And hopefully we can get the SC versus TGX going, because
Right.
I don't really want to forfeit because both teams are trying their best to play, and it's not like one team is sandbagging, the other one's not. They're actually
Right.
both trying.
It's
It's
the problem is Australia versus Europe's time zone is very bad. 10-hour difference, I think, 10 or 12-hour difference. So
Yeah,
that's usually why that causes a huge ass problem. But hopefully they can figure that out.
yeah. Hopefully we
Um,
get that one going.
and then Native versus Meh might be commentated, right? You think
Hopefully,
we
I'm
might have
going
someone
to
coming in?
talk to the guy and hopefully we can get that one commentated because those are probably the two best teams in the tournament.
Okay. And then that's it. I think we should talk about the cargo bracket now for a little bit before we do our Twitch Q&A. Is
Yep.
that okay? So we've had, unless somebody has played during the show, which is possible, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our first round matches done so far. I personally commentated 2 of them. One of them was with Wicked. So the first match that happened on the tournament, I believe, was Gooch Mullet FC versus Never Seen Never Heard. Goo versus Scene. It was a pretty good match. It wasn't like an absolute like one-sided match. Badlands is pretty slow, I would say. Pretty hard to score on
Yeah.
Badlands. So Scene was able to take that 2-0. The next match, which was right below that in the bracket, was Apocalypse versus Huxtables. That was today. Jeff and I were able to stream that one. And now Apocalypse was able to win that 2 over Huxtables, and now Apocalypse will be meeting up with Scene in the next round. Pre-Natals versus the Firm, I did not get a chance to see. I'm not sure if any of their players streamed it, but Prenatals was able to take that 2-0. They will be playing against your team, or your other team, Wicked, RA.
Yeah.
I don't know very much about the Prenatals. I know some of their members.
They're a good team.
They are a good team. I think you had scrimmaged them. I also had seen some of their members posting like their cargo strategies on Reddit, like very long posts and in-depth. Double Time J posting a lot of stuff about cargo. So definitely they're like heavily invested to the game mode and they enjoy cargo a lot. So that might be a team that's like coming out of the woodwork because it's cargo. We had Lexer Squad beat ROR in a close 2-1. I did not see it, but they will move on to face the winner of West Coast and Phantom Army. Nuga was able to defeat Crouching Tiger, Hidden Knob. I did not see that one either, but they will be playing our team bomber, LSJ, at some point during the week. And that's all we had happen so far. we're waiting on a few matches. I think I think Nostalgia and Jabba's Angels will be playing tonight, I believe. So after this stream, maybe tune into Lack's stream. I think twitch.tv/Lacklock.
I believe I'll be commentating that as
Okay,
well.
all right, yeah. So
So
either stay right here and watch our stream, or go watch Lack's stream. Either way. And I think Jakku Warriors B team might be playing Rockwood tonight, but I don't actually know.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. And then
Rockwood isn't responding, I don't think.
I'm not sure when Nighthawk's team is playing either, so I don't have any info on that. Nighthawk of Blood playing in 10. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's pretty solid info on the bracket so far. Do you guys want to go into Q&A?
yeah, that's fine with me. I believe all our guests are welcome as well to answer questions. So if you're here,
Yeah.
feel free to chime in.
Anybody in the Twitch chat, 20 seconds from now when you hear me telling you this, type a question into the Twitch chat, hit enter, and I will read it out, or anybody will read it out, depending on who it's to.
And we have 2 SC members, and we have Chris from R as well as our guests. So if you have any questions directed at them, feel free to ask.
Lack would like to know what PC stands for.
Well, LAC
Probable
stands
cause.
for
Jeez.
personal computer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Weiss is
I have
giving
one for
award-
the admins or the owners of the site. What's
Go ahead.
for the ladders that you guys are thinking about? Is there a time frame on that, or like?
Right, so we were actually
what's
going to
the deal
ask
with
you
that?
guys about that, but there's no definite time frame at the moment. But we are there's basically a few different options we could go to, costing varying different amounts of money to purchase ladder software. Basically, Delta is waiting on an email from a guy. We expect to have a ladder up ideally at some point during the cargo tournament, so at some point during the next few weeks, I'd say. But nothing's set in stone. We want to do it though. I'm pretty sure like it's gonna happen. It's in the works. Just don't have a solid date to give you right now.
Nice.
Wicked, do you have one? I don't.
Well, I could read Eska's. Eska was asking Chris, actually, if he would rather be with me or Cappy for one night only.
Yeah, who would you rather hang out with for a night? I'm sure
That's a tough one. I mean, they're both sexy.
Oh
but,
boy.
I guess I guess I would choose Wicked just because Cappy only lives 20 minutes away from me, so we can meet up anytime.
That's crazy. That's a pretty big coincidence. You guys picked up Cap and he like lives right down the street from you guys. That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like it was planned.
But yeah. I still love you, Cappy.
Sniper asked a interesting question. Jawa gun or using rolling?
What does that even mean?
Which one would you prefer?
Use the Java gun
I would rather be able to use the shotgun than be able to roll because rolling seems kind of glitchy right now.
Right now, the Java gun. In the future, rolling.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the question?
Would you rather use the Java gun or roll?
Gun. It's too
course.
OP.
Cappy asked if I'm on tilt 24/7, and the answer is of course yes. Did you see the finals?
Eska asked for Roach. Why name Roach? You smoke roaches or you look like a roach?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
The name Roach came from SOCOM when I had the original name Roach on that game, and then I joined a clan, and I don't know how it ever came about, and I just added suicidal to it as like, because a roach can supposedly survive an atomic bomb or whatever, and it kind of like contradicts it. I don't know, and that's stuck ever since. I don't know. I do not look like a roach. Just picture like, if you picture like Brad Pitt, Bradley Cooper, and Channing Tatum all mashed into one, that's pretty much a resemblance of me.
I can
Nice.
confirm that's false, but
Yeah.
Actually, Lack asked a pretty good question. Why didn't the BFC advertise the finals more? Well, The finals was kind
Uh,
of a last minute thing, I think, or like happened kind of randomly because I didn't expect SC to play R after Jakku had forfeited.
Neither did we.
basically we didn't advertise more because we had no idea that it was going to happen that night. We would have obviously hyped it up way more if we knew, but yeah, it sort of happened out of nowhere, which is fine. I definitely, let the players play when they're able to play. I don't need time to hype it up if they're able to play right away. This worked out pretty good, I think. Lack also asked, how much is the BFC worth, and can I buy any stock in it right now? It's probably worth like, I don't know, maybe like 50 cents or something, or maybe like
Probably
uh,
not even that.
maybe like zero point zero 0.01 of like Delta's paychecks sometimes, maybe. So there you go. Can you buy it out? I don't know if we have anything to sell you, Lack. I'm sorry. Cappy asked, are any Dice employees actually going to tune in? We tweeted Dice Firewall, and I said, would you be interested in watching? And he said, yes. I don't know if that means he'll tune in. I kind of feel like they're pretty busy people and they won't be able to tune in. Maybe they could watch a recorded video. But it would be cool if they were aware that we existed.
Um,
You guys should invite them to be on the show instead of just watching it.
That would be cool. I think Cappy was asking for a match, but yeah, I don't know if they'd watch the show, but if we could like invite them to be on State of the BFC, that'd be like insane. I mean, we could do it. I don't know if they'd say yes, but we could definitely do it. It's not a bad idea.
Sniper asks, at Roach and xShot, what SOCOMs did you guys play? I personally played SOCOM 2, 3, and Combined Assault.
It's actually a serious question.
We both played SOCOM 1, 2, 3, Bind Assault, Confrontation, and 4.
I
Which
know
is all of them.
Bomber always tells me like one of them is bad, or was one of them like not traditionally SOCOM and was like not as fun to play or something?
SOCOM 4 was terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
SOCOM 4 was the worst one by far.
I see.
And
then,
it also
SOCOM,
okay.
SOCOM 1 and 2 were just like run and gun, and then SOCOM 3 they incorporated vehicles like tanks and boats, and I think there was like ATVs in it or something too. I think
There was.
So that's where it kind of made a turn for the worse. Although SOCOM 3 was fun, the competitive aspect of it, and then SOCOM 4 was, well, Combined Assault was terrible. We didn't really play that game much.
Mm-hmm.
SOCOM 4 was terrible, and Confrontation I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
I should say it started off bad and it ended good with the
Yeah,
updates and
I
stuff
agree.
that they did.
Okay.
And SOCOM 4 also was released like a week or two before that huge PlayStation credit card thing and PSN went down.
Oh, that sucks.
And the game really just, I mean, it was bad,
Mhm.
and I
But
don't
that
think
just
they
adds
worked
to
on
it.
it because the player base just was dead when.
Right, nobody could play. I couldn't play my roommate's PS3 for a whole week. I was like, what is going on? But yeah,
Yeah,
it was
so
crazy.
it died out really quickly.
Yeah. Villa Husky asked, how would a Stars Battlefront ladder system work? Well, that is very much up in the air at the moment. We wouldn't have any rules ironed out yet because I haven't seen what the software we'd get would be capable of doing. So that's something we'd be talking about going into the future. Nothing set in stone yet, but you could expect it to be similar to how we did it on Battlefront 2 or how a Game Battles ladder would work. Pretty similar to that, I would say. Looking for another question. Lack says, why doesn't the BFC do a multi-mode tourney? Lack, that's probably going to happen at some point. It was the plan to try out like 2 just game modes for these like first couple and then see where we're at.
We would have done multi-mode, but the rest of the community voted cargo. So.
We almost did multi-mode for this one, yeah.
Why did Wicked throw the grand finals by Sniper?
I mean, I saw all the flack that SC was getting in the forums, and I just like felt really bad for him. So like, did you see my KD at the end, like 0.5? Like, obviously, fucking like through that game.
Hey, we appreciate it.
I mean, I don't actually sandbag in finals.
There was one question that somebody put, how did this finals rank versus previous ones? I don't know if you guys can...
It was, I mean, a lot of overtimes. So if you rank them based on how close they were, it's pretty up there. Because there are so many like ties, and also you guys reset the bracket. So I don't know. Up there, I would say closer than the season 12 finals. Mm, season 10 and 11 were super close, but this had so many overtimes. I don't know. I put it up there, but not at the top.
Um, let's see. Eska asked, Wicked, is it true you wear your boxers on backwards during battles?
Yeah, that's a ritual I've been doing since I was about 5.
Oh, okay.
You've been playing Star Wars Battle since you were about 5?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Wow.
well, not just
Can
not just
you tell us
Battlefront.
like the reasoning behind that? Like what it
Uh,
like does it improve your gameplay or like do you just feel better doing that or
I
something?
mean, it's all about in-game feeling. So you just
Yeah.
need to make sure that everything goes according to plan, and it all starts with making sure everything's on right.
Okay.
You need to have your
Um,
materials in the game before you get into the game. So
I see Cappy dropping some Little Wayne question lyrics. I see Sniper agreeing with you guys that he didn't like SOCOM 4 either. Is okay. Lack asks if is Nighthawk actually going to play, and is he any good? Does anyone know? We have no idea. As far as I could tell, he didn't know he was on the roster for BC. So I'm not sure. Basically, it's very, very mysterious at this time. But for all of you viewers who don't know, Nighthawk is one of the very older Battlefront 2 players who played for a very short time and was very good, but then left before many of us started playing. So we didn't, not very many people got to play against him, I would say.
Here's a good
Um,
question. What are the plans for including slash not including potential DLC for the future tournaments?
We've talked about that. So for the Carter tournament, nothing's allowed. In tournaments in the future, it'll be allowed so long as the tournament starts. What was it? 2 weeks after people have had access to the DLC. But
Yeah,
the maps
essentially,
are never going to be a thing, or at least not anytime soon. Because if you don't have the maps, you can't really play, which sucks. But the other things are more reasonable.
essentially 1 month after it comes out for the season pass, then that's when we will allow DLC.
Lack Roach, and xShot, outside of the people on your guys' team, who do you think some of the like top four other players are? Like outside of you guys, who did you see skill from?
Out of the tournament or just in overall?
Who are the best four players in the game? He said he didn't really particularly say.
We played on game battles. We played some good teams. I think Revium is. I think he's doing the cargo tournament
He
on
is. Yep.
Flip site.
Yep.
He's a really good player. Another guy on what game battles team. His name is Tudaplum. He
Yeah,
has a very good E3 shot.
he's by far the best player I played against.
The E3 master.
Yeah,
He's
for
really
sure.
really good with
Okay.
that
That
gun.
that whole team was really really good. They beat us twice really early
Are
on
they?
in
Is
game
Revium
battles.
and him on the same team?
No, they don't play with each other. Uh, they were on a team called La Primera Orden.
Right.
It's a Puerto Rican team, I believe, and they're all. I mean, they all seem like they know each other,
Okay.
and they had stopped playing, from what I can tell, at least most of them.
So Revium and this, what was his name again? Tulip something?
Two to plum.
Tudaplum.
Yeah,
Tudaplum. So they played together, Revium and this guy,
no, they
and
don't play together.
they used to, or no?
Never played together.
Oh,
No.
okay. Sorry, I
Ever.
got
Two different
confused.
teams.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Um,
I say even more than Revium. He was Revium was really good, but Tudaplum was, I'd say, the best player I played against.
and then for I would say who was another one? That Italio guy on Jakku's Warriors. His, I mean, I've only ever seen him use the E3,
Yeah, he's the other
and
E3 master, I'd say.
it's kind of annoying to play against
Yeah,
somebody like that
yeah,
who only uses that gun. But I mean, if you miss the first burst of that gun, you're pretty much
you're screwed.
you're screwed. Um, Kratos again sitting on top of the ship with the E3 on PNC killed me quite a few times. Was not happy about that. I'm not gonna speak on that. I told him to never go on that ship ever again and use that gun and kill me. Not speak to him.
Kratos, Bible Thump in the chat.
But
I
yeah,
will say I don't know about individual players because like I mean besides Tudaplum, even the guys Roach mentioned, like I didn't really feel like they were, I mean they were good, but they weren't like anything like outstanding, but there were some teams that we played against, like I know the Aussie team and ORR
Mm.
that I felt like they played really well, and then they would get into like different rounds in the bracket, and they would lose, and I don't know how they lost those matches.
Yeah, I was surprised that Dcuz did like all right against you. Like I thought you guys would like destroy them, but yeah, I don't know. That it
Because
is weird.
they're pretty try hard. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think LSJ knocked them out.
Yep.
So good job, LSJ, because I did not think you guys were going to win that. So I was really surprised by that. But I thought Dcuz and ORR were going to do better than they did, and they didn't really perform after they played us.
Are stats being kept for the Karga tournament? Also, who was the best player in stats for Drop Zone?
Go look. You can go to.
I don't think they're updated, but I think it's actually xShot.
I think xShot is at the top too.
Damn it.
I
I
don't
agree.
think the finals are put in at this time, but
I don't even think LSJ versus SC
I think
is added either.
xShot is at the top. You can go to the stat sheet and sort it by whatever you like to determine who you think is the best. Cappy's asking, can we diversify the guests? Well, Cappy, this was basically we wanted to have Roach and xShot back because they had just won the championship. So that's why this is more of like a championship just ended episode rather than like trying to get new people episode. We'll have some new people for next time. Let's see. I saw one up above, but then I scrolled past it. But let's just like take a couple more. I feel like we've been going for a while. Let's just do like 2 more maybe. If we can get some. Where's Trooper? That's a good question, Sniper. Trooper actually messaged me during the show and said that he couldn't make it, but he will be able to next week for sure. So there you go. Sneak peek next week. Could be Trooper as a guest if he is able to show up. That's one. Man, Degator's got all these all these Twitch emotes. Maybe he's just subscribed to one guy, but definitely pulling out the emotes.
He's the master of Twitch.
Why does it take 2 months to complete a 20-man tourney? Because so many people take so long to play, Lack. That is why. Kratos asked me, how do I feel about HBox winning Pound? That sucks if that happened, Kratos. I did not watch it, but I wanted Hacks to win over HBox, and I wanted Mango to win overall. No one knows what I'm talking about.
This question. Someone asked about all-star teams.
That would be fun if people want to do that. We have an all-star voting section on our forums, which is like super old and from Battlefront 2. But if you guys want to, I know Jeff was saying like, oh, we should do a big all-star turning point game or something like that. But if you guys wanted to do an all-star game, we might be able to set that up. That's something the admins could talk about on Monday potentially, and then we could have some voting, and you guys could play in one if you'd be down. I would assume it'd be SC and our members, like a few of you guys. So if you guys would be down for that, that'd be cool with me.
As long as it's not in April, I'm down because I am busy starting Monday.
Yeah, could be pushed back. We'll see. Usually,
You could
what
just not be
happened,
voted.
yeah.
That
Well,
too.
what happened with the older All-Star games is like you vote everybody in, and then it's like 8 or 10 people on all different teams, and then none of them are on at the same time. So like we vote for the All-Stars, but the games never got played. So yeah.
I definitely have to bot that vote.
All right. Well, I think that's enough questions. So we wanted to end the show. As always, we have the final cap ready for you guys. There is a topic up on the BFC website called "Submit Your Clips to State of the BFC." If you guys have any funny or good gameplay clips, you can post them there, and we will use them to close out the show. This week we have the Duchess using the red canisters to his advantage, and Bomber will play that, and we will see you guys next time.